favorite of
Mark. That is what you are. Yeah.
Maybe a favorite of Marcus's, Curse of the Puppet Master. I don't know if you saw that one or not.
I've seen all the puppet. I've seen all of them. They just run together, though. I don't remember clearly what that one's about. But yeah.
I doubt they're too different. So TriStar had a hell of a year, or hell of a decade. TriStar, listen to what they released in the 90s. T2, Hook, Basic Instinct, Jerry Maguire, Philadelphia, Universal Soldier, As Good as It Gets, Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. And their next two major films after the big hit were Godzilla and one I'm curious to know if you ever saw, Marcus, or cared about, Dancer, Texas, Population 81.
I did see Dancer, Texas with the guy from Road Trip.
Breckin Meyer.
Breckin Meyer, yeah, I did. Yeah. I love that. And it had the guy from Can't Hardly Wait, the asshole from Can't Hardly Wait as well.
Yeah, it was like all the young, hot white guys.
It was,
from the 90s or mid-90s, and let's put them in one.
Yeah,
any of them could have hosted TRL at any moment.
Oh, easily.
Let's get into the cast a little bit, Marcus.
Please. I mean, I want to start with Mark Whalberg, but let's not start with...
Save him for last. Yeah, let's save him for last because this cast is awesome.
It's guys who have been in the business and then guys who are coming in who would prove huge going on later on. And not to discredit anybody else. I mean, with the minor characters that we have in this as well, Christina Applegate and others. But I want to start out with he could easily be the last one that we talk about, but who makes the movie is Lou Diamond Phillips that they needed more of. Incredible.
He's so good in this movie. I've watched this movie twice since I realized we were going to do this, and I'm just in awe of him.
He takes it and just goes with it. I mean, they could have put him in this movie every scene. I mean, every movie, that's what you wait for, the scenes with him in it. And it's just so good, man. God.
He outshines every single person, even Mark Whalberg. He and Bokeem are tied for me, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he doesn't have a lot in this movie, but he's one of the more memorable parts. But Lou Diamond Phillips carries... He's a great bad guy. He's a great character. This movie allows him to do anything he fucking wants.
Yeah.
Like, as a character choice. Because the movie's so insane. It's like, go ahead, Lou. Do what you want.
Yeah, there's no walls. Yeah.
No. And there's no... I doubt at any point this director was like... Lou, pull it back.
Yeah.
At least it doesn't seem that way. And in an interview I saw, Lou sort of goes into that. And he's like, this character's so out there. It was his idea to do the gold tooth.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. And they bonded it instead of just being like a cap on it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, it could keep falling off. Mm-hmm. You could choke on it. So it was bonded on there for like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, in the movies we do, I don't know if we'll ever talk about him again, so I'm totally down to spend a little time on Lou.
Right. I mean, well, I guess maybe we could do... I mean, we could have done Young Guns or Courage Under Fire. We'll never do. But, I mean, those aren't movies that, are in the wheelhouse with which we talk about.
Yeah, but he's a theater major out of Texas.
He is. UT Arlington, baby, my alma mater. Yeah.
There you go. You ever run into Lou Diamond Phillips?
No, but you can't walk down a goddamn drama hall without seeing his picture up there, man. It's just like...
is that right?
He is the pride of UT. I mean, him and Hunter Pence, who played some there as well, if anybody knows the baseball player. But yeah, those are two big ones. But yeah, he was all over the drama department there.
It is such a great... Like, you want your villain to be likable and maybe have some humanity. This guy has no humanity, but yet maintains his likability.
Yeah, easily, because of the nature of how insane he is, which makes it over the top and funny. And any conversation he's in with anybody is just, you see his doofiness, you see his dumbness, but then his violent temper, which is exceeded to the nth degree, and it's great too.
Yeah, he lacks all morals. He'll do anything and kill anyone, stab anyone in the back. He has no friends. He's all out for himself. And he does it in some stylish fucking clothes.
It does.
and he looks ripped. Good for him.
Yeah, those. I wish that, you know, in that one scene, just taking it with him and Gump, that just the dumb henchman with him, who, you know, I wish that I could always pull off that just tight silk, whatever that is, with the dragon.
It looked like a body tattoo.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, and I remember like seeing this for the first time and thinking those were tattoos when I was younger, and it's just like, no, that's just a sweet ass, you know, Gadzooks or Men's Warehouse, something he got, man. Just
I'm sure it was custom.
Yeah.
So Lou Diamond Phillips, of course, his big break was the Richie Valens story, not Buddy Holly, but the Richie Valens story, La Bamba.
Yeah.
I used to watch that movie. I feel like that movie came on twice a day when I was growing up with cable on whether it's HBO or Max. So I've seen that movie so many times.
Man, I love La Bamba is one of those movies where if it's on, like I have to watch. I just love. It's just so fun to. I don't want to say it's so fun to watch, but it's
and
just.
Donna was her name.
Yeah,
love that movie. And he's great in that. And he's been great in everything. He got a Golden Globe nomination, I think, for Stand and Deliver, where he played like a street kid. So he was his big movie before this was Courage Under Fire, and then he did a lot of TV shows. He did a lot of TV shows before this and after this, little guest starring roles, little TV roles, and then did Broke Down Palace. You remember that?
Oh yeah. Getting caught in Thailand with some drugs in you, and yeah.
Oof. Do you have another favorite Lou Diamond Phillips movie other than La Bamba or this?
No, I mean, my favorite Lou Diamond Phillips movie is always going to be Young Guns. Young Guns 1 and 2. I love, I mean, huge fan of Young Guns. Yeah.
That's a tough one to beat.
I hate to say it, but I wish I had a deep cut to make me sound more as the into the...
No, I think that's great. Yeah. What's funny is I wasn't even thinking of the Young Guns franchise. All I could think about was... What was that B movie he did where he was the sheriff? Like Bats? Was it Bats?
Oh, yeah. It was Bats, wasn't it? Yes.
I loved that movie.
I remember that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
And it was this whole drive-in movie take back to the old 50s sort of thing. And it was just so fun. I saw it in theaters. Yeah, Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah.
I really like that movie a lot. He's just good. Like, he's a guy, and what a career. I mean, he's done it all. And he's just a guy who's done so much, and he's good in everything he does. And he is a shining star in this movie. Yeah,
he's, again, like, this movie is his movie pretty much. I mean, Wahlberg's top billing, but, I mean, like we'll talk about, his character makes the big hit. I think anybody who ever loves a big hit, that's their first go-to is like, oh, yeah, I remember it because of Lou Diamond Phillips. Of course, Wahlberg's in it, and you remember his hair, but that's pretty much it.
And I think in what should be second billing to Lou Diamond Phillips is Bokeem Woodbine, another guy who's I've seen him so much, and I've always respected and enjoyed him, but when I was researching him, he has another catalog of movies that's just insane.
Oh, huge, yeah.
And he was doing stuff in 93. It was when he really started sort of breaking into the business. And before this movie, he had finished the movie Caught Up. I don't know if you ever remember that movie. And then after this, his next film was Almost Heroes.
Yeah.
Which was released the next month. Good year for Bokeem.
Yeah. But let's talk about previous big hit Bokeem, because I know a lot of people remember The Rock, and he had, he was in The Rock. But I think one of our favorites that goes unnoticed a lot is Dead Presidents, which is a great fucking movie, too.
Gosh, I love Dead Presidents.
Yeah.
See, he seemed to have just... I mean, he didn't come out of nowhere. I'm sure he's been around, but, like, he started off pretty big. He was in, like, Crooklyn, I think, the Spike Lee movie, and Dead Presidents, and these are all major movies, major roles, and he just sort of started doing them.
Yeah.
I mean, in this movie... He, like Lou Diamond Phillips, he's always at a 10. He's the pervious guy, but he's also probably the most morally unbankrupt of everyone. He's a good friend.
Yeah. Besides Cebato, I think like there is that, and we even see more from him, but I think that definitely more grounded is Woodbine in this too. Yeah.
And we don't see him kill anyone.
No.
Because Lou Diamond Phillips and Antonio Cebato Jr. go in after Melvin's killed everyone and start shooting dead bodies. But I don't think we ever see Bokeem pull a trigger. I just thought it was hilarious, the fact that he's given up having sex because he never knew about masturbation. Right. He has so many great one-liners. Probably my favorite thing he does is at the end when he's trying to run away and he's buying lotion at the airport.
Yeah, the Caliban. Yeah.
He's like, I said lanolin, not none of this aloe vera bullshit. While he's working his hands out.
Yeah. With that huge circle thing.
You're not going to get that on the plane. And then he does this great thing where he builds this relationship with his hands throughout the movie as he falls in love with his hands. And he's talking to Melvin in one of the scenes where he's like, yeah, you can store China Chow over here and all this stuff. And he's like, he just starts looking at it and he's like, oh, you ready, baby? Okay, you want to go again? Okay. Yeah. It's great. He's so good in this movie. And let's move on to Antonio Cebato Jr. This movie could survive pretty well without him in this movie, but he pulls his own weight, I guess.
He does. I mean, in this, he's definitely kind of more of the face. I mean, he's the good-looking guy. He's the playboy, almost, it seems like, of the group. And, I mean, he does add, especially in the first part, that I think they could have used him more, and his humor would have knocked it out of the park if they would have used him more. Yeah.
He did mostly soap operas. He was on General Hospital for 10 years or something like that. He did Melrose Place. Most recently, he spoke at the Republican National Convention in support of Trump.
There it is.
After he was big for the Wall, all about the Wall, wants the Wall.
Was he in anything that we had seen? I mean, I know that he was in other movies that we saw in the past.
He did mainly straight to video action movie type stuff for a while. For some reason, I thought he took over the Snake Eater role for a second, but I don't think that's the case. But in my mind, I had that was the case. I mean, you've probably seen him and just you remember his face and not him, you know?
Right, yeah.
Let's talk about Avery Brooks. He's another guy. Crushes. There's not a lot of bad performances in this movie. I would dare say there's none. And Avery Brooks is always one of my favorite actors.
Sure, yeah.
This was a big year for him. He had done a lot of stuff up to this point. Of course, he's going to go on to... He'd been in Star Trek, but he's going to go on to be the guy in Star Trek for years. But this is the year, right after this, American History X comes out.
Yeah, Principal, yeah.
So he had already finished shooting probably American History X, or was shooting it around the same time. And, he's so good at American History X.
He is. He has that rich voice where if I was ever led down the wrong path as far as politics, racial discrimination, and he sat me down and talked to me, I would be scared shitless and immediately, right my wrongs and do whatever he told me to. I mean, he's just he commands attention when he's on screen, whatever he plays.
And when he does the whole speech, when he's like, someone has transgressed against me, and Lou Diamond Phillips is like, oh shit, it's me. The line that always sticks out, he was like, what would you do? And he's like, bust some caps. I thought, oh my God, that's amazing. This guy who just talks like this, bust some caps. It's so good. He's been a stage actor for the longest time. Then there's China Chow, her first movie.
She carries what she needs. She keeps the movement. Yeah. She keeps it, and she adds, that kind of instigation to make the crew be funny too. And then she adds those lines that it helps kind of pinpoint and find that humor in everybody.
She's
and all
a level
characters.
of innocence that the movie lacks otherwise as well. So I'm sure it's, of course, it has to be a young girl. Apparently, in the original script, she was high school.
Yeah, and then they thought, well, that could get weird. So
yeah, I think so. If you thought, wow, they have a good connection on screen, maybe you're right, because after this, they dated for 4 years.
How long has Wahlberg been married for now? Has he been married to the same person for a while? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he had his time. He was sort of notorious around Hollywood, I believe, for, the show Entourage is based off of him. But,
yeah.
but I think he's been married to her for quite a while. I don't